Welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to Mercury in Sagittarius in our fourth house. Home, family, our roots. This is the dawn of something truly deep, truly beautiful, and it's long lasting. This is the season as well where you're asking the big questions. And Mercury will be in Sagittarius all the way from October 29th through December 31st. So he's bringing us into this beautiful situation as we come into the new year. And I will also say, spoiler alert, while he is in retrograde, he will be changing signs back to Scorpio and then back to Sag. Before we get started though, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your love and support. Truly, you guys mean the world. You make me melt. You make this channel a family, and I love you back. So let's get into it. So Mercury in Sag. Oh my goodness. Okay, so he will be in Sagittarius in our fourth house through November 18th. That's when he's going to be re-entering Scorpio into our third house during the retrograde period. I will also say he'll then re-enter Sag as of December 11th, right before the 12/12 portal. We'll get into it. This is where the retrograde period between November 9th and November 29th, we'll have this moment where it's like we've got this reflection period about home, family, our roots, cultural ties. Then it goes back into this deep dive of Scorpio passion. There's something that's truly beautiful here. We also have two grand water trines. One, spoiler alert, all three planets will be in retrograde. Saturn plays a role, Jupiter plays a role. It's amazing. We'll get into it. We'll also look at some key dates to truly pay attention to. But while he is in Sagittarius, our minds are truly expanding to big picture ideas. This is where it's like the exploration of home becomes this mind, body, spirit aspect and questioning. There's this big picture when it comes to home, family, your inner world, your future. You're upgrading through this expansive energy. Your inner world, your outer world. It's basically where you're balancing this big picture idea with practical living. And it's a new way of living. It's liberating. And it's got some bright horizons attached to it as well. It comes to, or what really comes to mind as well, is like you're deciding during this whole time, through these reflection periods, through these transitions between Sagittarian energy, our fourth house, and our third house, that Scorpionic energy, what family means to you, what home means to you, and two, how to put it, how I best heard it put, especially if you come from troubled aspects and you're healing, like healing old wounds with this, because there's this healing aspect too. Blood makes us related. Family makes us what's loved. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because that's what this season is truly all about. It's deep, it's beautiful, and it's long lasting. This is where you're looking at the inner critique, your inner world, and you're giving it a vacation day. You're looking at what's preconditioned, and you're learning to be kinder to yourself, to others, and you're deepening bonds. This is also where, too, you're listening to your body, you're listening to your intuition, your gut, and you're doing what it's asking of you. Especially when it comes to the communication between your body, your mind, your spirit, your home, your family, your future. So this is where, like I say, with Mercury in Sag, our minds are going to be expanding in a very beautiful way to look at the big picture ideas, philosophy, exploration, belief systems, travel. Communication becomes conviction. It's more direct, it's enthusiastic. You'll find yourself able to speak with more assertiveness, more belief, more definition. And there may even be some tendencies to be more blunt about things. There's not necessarily this sugarcoating aspect when it comes to Sagittarian energy. There's little room for that sugarcoating, in fact. So it's where you're giving that inner critique kind of a vacation day, and you're reserving that sugar for the baking. It's Thanksgiving, right? It's November. And especially with Thanksgiving, where family is coming together, Sagittarius energy with Mercury is going to be playing a role. So especially as family comes together, These are opportunities. There's strength with vitality. There's passion behind your words. There's also this activity, this new action that you're taking in emotional intelligence, in personal career development when it comes to your partnerships. Also, too, in your inner fire, your inner world, as it comes to your long-lasting plans, your strategy. So this is where you're widening your mental horizons. You're asking those bigger questions. You're communicating more boldly, I guess is how I would put it. And we'll get 2 passes at this energy. It's a great mix of strategy and passion while he revisits Scorpio in our 3rd house during the retrograde. No pressure, I know. This is where you may find that you're more willing to take risks in thought, learn broadly, reach to larger opportunities during this time. And also, too, I will say the challenge will really be still remembering the true wisdom that comes, the grounding that comes from the details as your mind flies to new heights, higher heights. And when it comes to activating our 4th house, home, our roots, our family, our emotional foundation, and our inner security, we're asking the big, expansive questions on how we define those, what they all mean to us, especially as we take action towards our 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups came out 50-50. So this really speaks to that learning opportunity that the retrograde gives us, that reflection period, right? On the positive side, same as with Mercury and Sag when he's direct, you could be prompting yourself to expand your idea of what home is to you, what it means to you, as you look for and tie your emotional foundation of security to your roots, your physical roots. So this could manifest in ways where you're looking at relocating altogether. I'll be real. New places, travel is involved, and it's long distance travel with our 4th house. Spoiler alert, in our 3rd house, it also, in the retrograde, involves short distance travel. So just be aware, there's a lot of travel aspects and opportunities. So you could be exploring your roots, relocating, pulled into studying your family history, knowing where you truly come from, seeing the ties in your past lives, as well as in your past ancestry, as to where you get these preconditions, where you get these talents, these skills. Not everything that you inherit is meant to be taken with you as well. That includes traumas. So with the past coming into this, especially with the retrograde as well, there's going to be this nostalgic link to it, where you could find yourself visiting or traveling to an area where you used to live, or where your old family ties are from, where your old family hometown is. Wherever the adventure takes you, it's opening you up to a broader meaning. It's opening you up to faith, and it's opening you up to a trust system in your home that's deep, it's beautiful, and like I said before, it's long lasting. It's leading to genuine joy, love, family love, belonging, what that all means to you. Bright futures that are entangled with your spiritual pleasures that enable you to build a legacy of enduring success. During the retrograde as well, especially as we look at this triumph, right, this transition, dreaming as big as the jubilation is truly deserving of in your life, in your soul contracts, which is meant for you. This is where you're looking at family conflicts, breakups, discord, disunity, arguments, dissatisfactions, upsets, where there was a destruction of harmony, where there were shattered values. This is going deep, especially between the 4th house and the 3rd house. And again, we've got that Sagittarian energy, which is bold, it's direct, it's blunt. And then we've got the Scorpio energy. That's passion. That's strategy. It's going deep, and it's truly looking at the depth of those shadows, right? And learning the wisdom, taking the wisdom from them, and disentangling yourself from the ties that have led towards these shattered values. And if that resonates, by all means, because I think I needed to hear that as well, coming from a troubled home, put a heart in the comments below, because this is where you are taking action, tying to your roots, and you're making sure your foundation through all this time in Mercury, while it's in Sagittarius, in our 4th house, moving back to our 3rd house, then back to our 4th house before he moves into Cappy in the first of the year, which is all about structure, lasting legacy, right? Grounding, healing. This is where you're truly building a foundation that's right for you. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel like you belong. It's going to feel that home, no matter where home is. And it's going to be indomitable, unshakable, unbreakable. You're asking the big questions. You're broadening your mindset. I'm just saying. So this is a time where, especially where, we're getting into this direct action. It's broadening. That Sagittarian energy is broadening your mindset about your private life. This could manifest, like I said before, travel, absolutely. Switching to more of a remote work as well, so that you can travel and take your home, your family, your work with you, where you're not necessarily tied to a physical location. And it comes to mind of like truly, home is where the heart is. You're making that call and you're writing the script. You're empowered during this time, especially with Pluto being direct, with taking that fool's journey on a new start with unlimited potential, with looking at and embracing that spirit of adventure in your creativity, possibly seeing where the journey is taking you, right? Through all of it, through what you're learning in all of it as well. And expect some shakeups. With Uranus here too, it's going to be tied to your work. That's all I'm going to say. But it's leaving you in this place that allows you to tap into unlimited potential, that allows you for flexibility. You make the calls. You write the script with asking those big questions. You could even be making your home more flexible, or even changing your living situation altogether. So it reflects your higher values. It's more in line with you and in line with what you want in your experience of life, in your experience. Oh my goodness, thank you. That fell straight into my lap. So this is, expect these breakthroughs. Like I say, they're coming towards you just as much as you're coming towards them. But this is where, look at this. We've got the Sun, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. This is gorgeous. You're writing the script. That's all I got to say. And it's got a big tie to your investments. How you invest your time, your energy. Is it that you're house rich, cash poor, cash rich, or money rich, home, I'm not coming up with the right words, but basically where you're stuck in your investments versus where you utilize your investments to liberate you. So with this focus on home and the higher values that you have, making sure that your living situation truly reflects your higher values, this is where you're reaching towards your jubilation, towards your enthusiasm, where it lights you up in your vitality, leads you to success and prosperity that no one can truly take from you. It leads you to attainment of glory, as well as material wealth and health, but confidence in your leadership with where your intuition is following and guiding you. When it comes to your soul's journey, with compassion towards the contentment. And that goes, like I say, with true exploration of home as it means to mind, body, and spirit. It's all tying together with your inner world as much as your outer world. So this could be where home is where the heart is, where you make it. It's not necessarily a physical place. This could also be a great time for learning and communication at home. So you may be having some very meaningful conversations with family, exploring new belief systems together, deepening those bonds together with those belief systems, discovering where they've limited you, especially when it comes to the 19. As we walk into 2026, remember, that's the Big 10. We're ending this 9-year cycle and starting a new one coming into 2026. This is that new cycle with home and family. It's deep, it's beautiful, and it's long-lasting. There's structure. It's new beginnings. It's the birth of everything new. It's success. It's attainment of what you've looked for when it comes to what you dream and define your home, your family. So you could even be exploring, in a lot of ways, even new studies that relate to your emotional foundation, like exploring psychology, ancestry, your cultural roots, your cultural ties, ancient wellness practices as well that are tied to the home of the body. There's this big challenge though. So I do want to prepare you. The big thing about Mercury in Sag is he's not necessarily very comfortable, because remember, Mercury, we're ruled by Mercury too. So I will also say, if you have any Sagittarian placements, you're going to feel this energy. Wherever your Virgo placements are, you're going to feel this energy in those houses and in those signs with those planetary aspects. So take a look at your chart, because Mercury in Sag is all about this expansive energy, right? So be careful when that happens, because it's this big lens, not to neglect the smaller details, bringing the sacred into the ordinary, right? Which we're Virgos. So it's the main thing of just reminding yourself to remain grounded. Still make room for those repairs that you've been putting off or that are necessary. Remember, those tiny faucet leaks can turn into really big problems if they're not addressed and if they're neglected. Same thing with the budget. All of the grounding practical matters that keep the home sacred, that keep the home stable, and that keep the home safe. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because this is where you're truly looking at where you're investing your time and your energy, where you're seeing the return on investment, where you're able to really truly call in that harvest, see that progress, see that movement forward. And also, too, see opportunities of reflection that set you free, that set you on a healing journey, and also, too, that allow you to plan for long term. So also, too, the big thing that I see in this as well, especially with Mercury and Sag, all this like focus on home, family, roots, it's going to be tied to your work, like I was kind of saying before. It's going to also be addressing work-life balance. So you may be truly wanting to separate that work and home life, or too, like I say, switching to that remote work aspect so that you can travel. Take your home and your work with you, but it's not stagnant, it's not stapled into a physical foundation as much as it's built into the structure that you create, especially with that Saturn energy. Especially when it comes to Taurian energy too. That's your creature comforts, right? Home, stability. Especially when it comes to family, truly being there for each other. How you define that with wants, needs, desires, right? And tying it to your personal challenge of spirituality. Embracing the hidden wisdom. Seeing your hard work pay off and building that legacy with that wisdom so that it's successional. It's long-lasting, and it's planned for not only just you, but for that successional plan of your children, your future, their future, your generational future when it comes to grandkids, great-grandkids. This is all that financial security, that home life security, ancestral security, and stability, built on a foundation of love and connection, especially with that Sagittarian energy and that fourth and third house being lit up here. So this is also where, like I say, the more you know about your inner world, exploring psychology, ancestry, cultural roots, cultural ties, ancient wellness practices, this is where you're grounding it all into the practical that allows you to keep home sacred. And especially as you feel this urge to change homes or a family situation, make sure to plan for it so that you don't move before you're fully ready to, especially during the reflection time of the retrograde, especially between, I'm just saying, mark your calendars, November 9th through November 29th during this retrograde time. So remember, it's all about review rather than adjustment. It's that reflection, that refinement, so that when we move forward, you move forward with clarity, confidence, build a structure that's unshakable, indomitable, with strong character, with independence, that's also organized and articulate and highly principled, especially when it comes to embracing and embodying your Virgo and higher expressions, and call balance into family, what it means for you, your roots, where you plant them. Also, too, family, where you expand them, right? It's kind of like that mother acorn tree. The canopy in a forest really provides that protection. But what I love about plant life is you would think that she almost, because she takes the canopy, she's almost taking too much for the regeneration of the forest, like soil, the forest young ones, right? That's not the case. Now what we know as we study it is she's feeding all these nutrients into the soil. She also has the ability to protect them from those storms so that they can survive as they grow their roots, plant their vitality. And through the successional aspect, she's also feeding them the nourishment that allows them to grow and surpass. She opens up her canopy in the age so that they get the proper sunlight while they're still being guarded from the adversities of the wind, the storms, right? This is that nurturing energy, and it comes to balance straight in the center, especially when you're looking at all the air, all like in the communication in your bonds, all the water that comes with those emotional ties. It's absolutely prolific. So this is the time, like I say, especially as we get into the retrograde. So let's talk about it. So it's more of an opportunity to upgrade your inner world, your inner home, so that it can reflect when it moves into a forward movement back into your outer world. This is changing how you talk to family, restructuring your home life to cherish the contentment and sanctuary of it, reevaluating what you need to feel secure. Whatever you dive into, it's long-term learning. And it's a long-term learning project that's liberating you. It's a new way of living that reflects your values at a very genuine and authentic level with passion. And it's also going to be, I will say, a very meaningful time. It's going to be centered on the home, your roots, your inner security, and how you lead when it comes to looking forward with the Page of Wands versus carrying what you've inherited. And if that resonates, by all means, put your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, because this is where you're moving towards, with exploration, with excitement, a place of freedom that frees you from a period of unhappiness, from heartache, from pain, separation, and from the traumas that you've inherited. Remember, those soul tie bonds through bloodlines. Not everything that you inherit is meant to be carried. This is where, with this Sagittarian energy, with this Scorpionic energy during Mercury's retrograde, it's a very rare opportunity. It's very potent, and it's very healing. It's very powerful, especially when it looks at what kind of traumas have hindered you from making your own progress in your life as it comes to home and family, manifesting home and family, security, stability, your sanctuary. It's going to be addressing where there's unbalanced emotions, where there's been unfaithfulness, where spite has led the way rather than love. Also, too, where there's been immaturity when it comes to emotional intelligence, irregulations within the family. Hurt people, right? Healed people help heal people. That's what this whole season is all about. So, especially while Sag is in the retro, or while Mercury's in retrograde in the Sagittarian period, don't be surprised with all this fourth house energy that it takes you into this expansive review of old conversations, emotional patterns, root causes for what's been difficult, what's caused this head fog, what's caused apathy, low ambition when it comes to going after your dreams, where you haven't been lifted up, where you've been diverted in your focus. When it comes to truly building, flipping all these on the upright, your jubilation, your success, your good fortune. Also, too, approaching things with emotional strength, trusting your intuition, leading with empathy, embracing your creativity, and focusing diligently on your goals, your mastery, your home life, your security, your stability, and your safety. And offering that in your roots when it comes to your family, right? With however that is defined with you. Let me know. That's all I got to say, because this is deep. It's passionate. So like I say, you're going to be looking at aspects, not only root causes, but it's going to be offering you this wonderful healing opportunity to look at where those aspects, where those patterns have caused you to feel how you've defined what home means to you. So this could be patterns and root causes of family hardships or dysfunctions that have caused cracks in your inner foundation. All of this reflection will lead you to realign. And I'll say it again, you are not the trauma that you've inherited. Wherever there was dysfunction, wherever there was old world, and especially too, when it comes to reaching for the 10 of Cups, where you've been sabotaged or even have self-sabotaged when it comes to looking ahead towards new opportunities, towards freedom. And you're moving towards it. Like I say, this is good outcomes. This is leading towards building prosperity. It's deep. It's beautiful. There's the dawn of something here where you're looking forward to your freedom, enjoying your success and knowing that you've earned it. Your hard work leads to stability, rewards, success, financial gain, but also community, family, soul tribe energy. I will also say too, this is where all of this reflection is going to lead you on a path to something even more beautiful when it moves back into Scorpio in our 3rd house. Remember, that's communication. That's how we learn. This is a new phase, and it's basically like, think of it in retrograde speak of like, while it's in Sagittarius, we're in phase 1. We're looking at the roots, right? Then when we move into Scorpio, we're looking at phase 2, the outer expression of this reflection. So when Scorpio energy comes into the retrograde, the 3rd house energy comes into the retrograde, it's going to shift our focus to communication, thought patterns, also contracts. Cannot stress this enough. So you're going to be looking at, don't be surprised, old conversations, old emails, old documents as well, contracts, commitments, throat chakra action here. They could all resurface, and there's something, especially with the Scorpionic energy as the retrograde comes in with that 3rd house activation, there's something that you missed before that's coming to light. It's going to cause you an epiphany, especially on where grief has been caused, where there's been regret, where there's been resentment, where you've been holding on to the past and carrying it into your future, into your commitments, your partnerships. Because remember, I will also say, this whole time, Juno is also going to be in our 4th house. Jupiter plays a role too. We'll get into it. But Juno is also going to be conjunct with Mercury pretty much like this whole time. She's not moving into Capricorn until the end of December. So remember, Juno is Jupiter's wife. She represents marriage, contracts, commitment, justice, your justice. There's something that you missed before that's going to come in, especially when it comes to claiming your justice, claiming your commitments, how you hold them dear to you, what you value most. With the Page of Pentacles, especially with Juno, especially with Scorpio's investigative energy, your mind is going to go deep and it's going to align with your heart in such a beautiful way. So you could be rethinking about how you communicate, whether it's being too blunt or too private, and how transparency and compassion, vulnerability can help with avoiding future misunderstandings and deepen bonds. And more importantly, where being too blunt, where being too private has possibly even caused you to be closed off from this opportunity. Good news, success, new ventures, staying focused with grounding, with your heart, being exemplified in what you hold most dear in your value system. This could also be enlightening where you've had difficulty with letting go. Remember, with the 4 coins, this is where you've got the magic, right? You've got the Midas touch. So this is looking at basically how you save, how you spend, how you budget, where you can set yourself up with contracts, circumstances that provide security rather than discontentment. So especially while we've got Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio in the 3rd house, this is like this beautiful time for researching, rewriting, uncovering some very important truths, especially when it comes to contracts or circumstances that you've consented to, knowingly or subconsciously. This is where you've got the true Midas touch. I cannot stress that enough. This is where you're looking at everything that basically has been a hard battle and you're conquering it. Like I say, there's something coming to light in what you've consented to knowingly or unknowingly in the past. And you're freeing yourself from it. You're going deep. And you're embracing this new way of living, this new way of how you connect, how you strengthen your bonds, how you shine in knowing that your vulnerability is your strength, and your perseverance, your grit, your willpower, your tenacity to survive through even the darkest moments is what's enabled you to truly come back into an emotional intelligence, coherence, that basically you can look at where emotions have overtaken your rationality and instead step back while also diving deep through clarity and understanding. So especially when it comes to deception, I mean, you could have been possibly very much had boundaries disrupted, I guess is how I will put it nicely, through cheating aspects, especially when it comes to marriage commitments, right? Where people have truly trespassed you in your boundaries, where they've lied to you, where they've not honored you, what all those values mean to you, right? In your inner world, in your security, your emotional foundation, where it's all been disrupted and where it's caused you to be closed off. And you're looking at all of what you've consented to knowingly or unknowingly. And I'll say it again, you're moving forward with writing your script and creating better opportunities, knowing that love is not something that is earned through suffrage, right? This is enjoying your success, truly walking towards your freedom when it comes to breaking free of all those trauma bonds and also, too, all those generational curses. This is walking towards prosperity, good outcomes. Also, I'll say it again. I mean, third house is short distance travel. Fourth house is long distance travel. This has taken you in a new road, a new way with some very big ideas, with balancing practical living with very big ideas. It's a new way of living and it's long lasting. I'll say it again. You're embracing those big questions. You're diving deep and you're learning what you've consented to. And you're also uncovering what you're no longer going to be consenting to. You're calling in and attracting truly your 10 of Pentacles, your stability, your success, your soul tribe, your soul family, the community that truly lifts you up, not tears you down, right? That wants you to succeed and that you want to succeed in building something truly long lasting. And it's beautiful. So like I say too, just be aware, especially we're in retrograde, right? With all of these epiphanies. During the retrograde, it is not a good time to make quick decisions. But Scorpio energy is not going to allow you to either. It's about strategy. It's about planning, right? This is also a time to have a dispositional or a situational view as opposed to a dispositional. So what that means basically is looking at not jumping to assumptions or conclusions or decisions, right? So it's really a great time to focus instead on speaking clearly and confidently, opening your throat chakra so that everyone is heard and can speak with compassion, with healing, and with vulnerability in creating and fostering that place of safety, contentment. So during this deep dive, know, and it will also empower you, I will say, to know that you and you alone have the power to rewrite any inherited beliefs, any habitual thoughts that you choose, to speak your emotional truth, to move forward in your authenticity. This is the whole gift of what Mercury is giving us during all of November and December while he's in Sagittarius and then Scorpio and then back in Sagittarius. It's gorgeous. And I'll say it again too. So the retrograde period is going to be from November 9th through November 29th. He's going to be in Sag through November 18th, then move back over into Scorpio, then on the 29th of November. So we'll have all of December in forward movement, really focusing on building something deep, beautiful, long-lasting in all of December. In such a heartfelt month as well, especially when family come together, right? Right as Thanksgiving is here, right as the holidays come in and we're reconnecting, right? This is where you will have your authenticity, your emotional truth. And of course, I will also say during the retrograde, just watch out for travel glitches, especially with the fourth house. It'll impact long distance travel. I'm sorry in advance. Third house, it'll impact short distance travel. Watch out for the weather. Tech hiccups as well. I'm already feeling them. Cannot stress that enough. Actually, I'm just going to laugh about it. I'm not going to tell you about it, but It's just a thing, technology hiccups, message delays may also come back too. So just be aware, be smart about it, back up your files, recheck your schedules, focus on revision, review, focus on allowing that extra time for delays, extra hiccups, because remember, it's a new adventure. A lot of times those can bring in blessings, but it's what you make of it, right? And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because especially with this, we're going to have a lot of nostalgia tied into it. So with the Two of Wands, this is where, especially as we move forward after all of this, I should say before as well. So with revision, with review on the table before or during this retrograde period, rather than launching something new, take advantage of this energy flow. Refine, make those long-term plans, revise what you need to, rewrite anything inherited that's limiting your beliefs, limiting your action, habitual thoughts, how you speak to yourself, others, where you're closed off. Contracts, make sure to look at all the fine print. And that can be, like I say, knowingly or unknowingly, what you consent to with that throat chakra and how it's impacted you with the sacral chakra. Take the wisdom and turn it into your passions. Take that story, right? Your story. Share it for the world, especially as we move in with this forward movement again, when we move back into Sagittarius as of November 29th. So this is the time, I will say, before that happens, once Mercury stations direct again in Scorpio, and if you haven't seen Mercury in Scorpio's reading, give it a look, listen. That's what I meant to say with two of them put together. But take a look at that video as well, because this is where it's like we are learning, we'll be ready to speak more clearly, more confidently, with passion, and most importantly, with the insights that we've gained during the retrograde period between our fourth and our third house. So projects involving writing, like I say, sharing your story, projects involving teaching, what you've learned in your wisdom, tying it to your personal career development, tying it to your ambitions, tying it to your vision, tying it to your long-term plans and your decisions, in resolution, in your originality, in your action, in your initiation, especially with Mars and Aries coming to the table, and truly balancing and embracing those dualities in your partnerships, in your relationships, in your choices, in your decisions. As of the 29th, you're going to be hitting the ground running. And it's deep. Like I say, this is strategy. You've done the investigation. You've done the enlightenment. You've looked at where there's been writer's blocks, short-lived breaks, right? Stagnations, disruption, dysfunction in your family communication, limited beliefs, misunderstandings, right? What you think or what's been instilled in you when it comes to belief systems, big picture ideas, where you're meant to go, the philosophy about life in general, your way of living. And you're embracing all that wisdom and you're moving forward with clarity. So you're going to feel this confidence and the clarity that you've learned during the retrograde time. It's going to give you this knowledge, and it changes. It allows you to change in a way that's healing, freeing, and expansive. Now, I will also say, like I say, this is where you're truly looking at broadening your mindset, especially about your private life, and walking forward, knowing that you write the script and that not all things that you've inherited are meant to come with you. This is also where you're looking at the good things, right? Good and bad, the dualities with the Six of Cups on where the past has influenced your present. And you're leading, going forward with gentle compassion where instead there was harsh before, right? Where you're able to lead with being looked after, knowing that there's safety being fostered, freeing yourself. So I will say there's a couple of dates to pay attention to. They're going to be epiphany, eye-opening, and spoiler alert, like I said before, there's 2 grand water trines. One of them happens to be when all of them are direct or are retrograde. Excuse me. So first one to really pay attention to right after the 11/11 portal. I'll do a separate read on that, so stay tuned, but it's the Awakening Gates portal. On November 12th, Mercury in Sag, in our 4th house, in retrograde. just entering, will conjunct Mars at 2 degrees of duality. So there is this tension that's going to come in with this great awakening between thinking and doing, between these two. Just saying. So pay attention, mark your calendar for November 12th, because between these two, with your 4th house being activated, there's something here. It may be a family conversation that needs to be happening, that you may be initiating. It needs to be talked about, but it needs to be talked about carefully. So this is a time where the best way I can put it is it's a speak your truth moment, November 12th, after the Great Awakening. And with the retrograde, timing and tone will be everything. So it's going to hold some insights into how early experiences have shaped thinking, your way of being, your way of leading. So it may spark realizations. If you're marking your calendar, take notes. Like I say, I'm a Virgo. I do. But this is the day where you may be finding that you're asking yourself, why do I always think this way when I feel unsafe? Also, too, for contemplation, especially with this conjunction, to utilize this energy, ask yourself, how did my upbringing teach me to communicate or teach me to withhold? Also ask yourself, what belief system about home or family do I need to re-examine? Because this is a speak your truth moment. I cannot stress that enough. And it's going to be liberating. It's going to be freeing. And it's going to allow you to embrace a new way of living with big ideas and practicality. Now, on the 22nd, get ready. Mercury is in Scorpio, retrograde. Mercury will trine with Saturn and Jupiter, forming this grand water trine. And yes, all 3 of them on the 22nd. I hope you love the numerology in this too. We've got 1122, breaking that all down to 3-3, creation and symmetry, in mastery and in dualities. I'll let that sink in for a moment. And if that just gave you goosebumps, put a heart in the comments below, because this is a day where you're truly calling judgment. I will be real about it, especially on the duality piece. So let's get into it. So all 3 of them are in retrograde. Keep in mind too, we have this new moon in Scorpio between the 19th and the 20th, right before the 22nd, that's initiating this 6-month cycle. It's initiating a new emotional beginning in how we connect and how we communicate. So this retrograde grand water trine is going to be especially meaningful for Virgos. It's full of emotional healing in such a prolific way, in such a way that truly allows you to shine and find your attunement with the temperance and truly manifest the relationships, the home life, the family life that you deserve. That wanted to come out, so I'm going to pick it up. This is where this retrograde grand water trine, I mean, like I say, it's prolific. It's got a lot of inward focus, but it's all chocked full of emotional healing. So you may find yourself rethinking how you communicate, not only, and I should say how your communication, the way you communicate not only affects your sense of emotional safety, but also impacts your intimate relationships. How it also impacts even your social networks, your hopes, your dreams, where it's caused sabotage in a lot of ways, or caused you to hold back, caused you to isolate yourself, build walls up. For some reason, I've got that song in my head that's, oh my gosh, I can't think of the artist. Put it in the comments below. Help me out if you know this one, but it's Walls Fall Down. Yeah, this is the one. I don't want to sing it for you. I'm sorry, I'm shy. I'm just feeling shy at the moment. But this is where you're looking at where you've built walls that are necessary to protect, or that you've believed to be necessary to protect yourself, especially when it comes to your social networks, your hopes, your dreams, putting yourself out there in your bonds, your connections, your commitments. You're saying something that's very important. This is an epiphany. You're calling judgment with this retrograde grand water trine. There will be a conversation that you may be revisiting, that you've been holding off on. You may be stepping back from groups that feel emotionally draining. More importantly, you may be stepping toward the ones that emotionally get you, that truly connect with you. The wisdom that you gain during this trine will help you with restructuring how you relate and where you belong. It is truly gorgeous. So take advantage of this energy, because it's where you're coming forward with your truth. You're speaking your truth with resolution, with judgment, right? You're calling justice in your honesty, in forgiveness, and reaping, calling in your karma. Because remember, this has got Saturn, this has got Jupiter. This is your legacy, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. This is also too with Saturn in Pisces, your partnerships, your 7th house. With Jupiter, that's your 11th house. It's all entangled together with your communication. You've got something important to say. You're revisiting a conversation that's allowing you to truly invoke some very deep healing and connect in a better way, restructure where you relate, where you belong, and where you shine as the star in your abundance, in your new beginnings, in your spirituality. This is having a positive outlook and hope for the future, contentment, calling in that healing, that renewal, that inspiration, and finding the temperance, the freedom, when your inner balance is truly achieved and aligned, where you're calling in your peace, your harmony, and becoming your own renewable energy source. And if that resonates, if you just got goosebumps like I did, by all means put a heart in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, because this is where you're manifesting through change, through foundations, new beginnings, your future with the Magician. Now, after all of this, the great retrograde grand water trine, I think is what I want to call it, on the December 6th through December 7th, we're going to have this all change from an introspective, refinement, reflective, regenerative thing to an outward expression of the very same water trine. So Mercury and Scorpio will once again be trine with Jupiter and Saturn, but this time Mercury is going to be direct and Saturn will be direct. And Saturn, oh my goodness, this is structure, discipline, legacy, karma, where you're rewarded for the work, the hard work, the discipline. Also tied to money, your legacy, your security, your stability. This grand water trine, Jupiter will still be reflective. I'm just saying, he's still in retrograde. But either way, this is where the tides are truly turning outward, where your mind clears, your voice strengthens. Saturn's going to be bringing stabilization to your partnerships and your collaboration. Clarity and commitment will start to return. Also, too, you can finally say what you meant to say before, but this time it's with maturity, it's with empathy, it's with compassion, it's with gentle but powerful energy. This is where you're utilizing the skills that are at your disposal, the resources, the focus, knowing your expertise and direction, and embracing your potential with emotional coherence, heart-brain energy. And remember, Jupiter, especially when it comes to hopes, wishes, dreams, all of this forward movement when it comes to building your structure in how you communicate, connect your bonds, what you commit to with that 3rd house energy with Mercury in Scorpio. This is where you're going to be looking at the hopes and dreams, the long-term aspirations that you hold dear with Jupiter in its reflective period, and you're building this structure for that legacy, for when he moves forward. Now, on the 21st as well, after this, Mercury not only is going to be in Sag, he's going to be back in our 4th house, home, roots, ties, family, emotional foundation, inner security. This time he'll be direct. He'll have clarity. He'll be watering the seeds that he plants, right, with value. But I will also say, on the 21st, Mercury is going to be squaring off with the North and the South nodes. There is something that's truly destined, truly fated. Numerologically, too, we've got 1221. You're on the right path. It breaks down to creation, symmetry. This is a really important time. So mark your calendars for this, especially because if you celebrate Christmas, it's right before the holidays, right? This is where there's something fated. There's something destined. But Mercury in particular, because he's linked with that home family ties with the 4th house, the expansive energy of Sagittarius, He's building you a very beautiful bridge. This bridge must be integrated between the two nodes before you're able to fully move from the south node to the north node. Remember, from your comfort zone to new heights, new exploration, new ways of living. This is that day. It's going to test how you think, how you speak, how you seek meaning, how you move from perfectionism to intuitive understanding, how you utilize your leadership to manifest your goals, how you use your leadership when it comes to where you stand and lead for others in your social groups, right? In how you communicate, how you ascend with open-mindedness, with intuition, with resilience, and with authority when it comes to your home, your family, your inner emotional foundation, your inner security, your expansion, and define what all of those aspects mean to you. This is a beautiful day to pay attention to. And like I say, breaking it on down, new beginnings, dualities, loving every bit of yourself with what, like fostering what makes you feel safe, creates that safety, that security. How you write your script when it comes to building your legacy, your home, your life, your family, and it's long lasting. It's destined. It's fated. And it breaks down to 3-3. That's creation. It's what you create in all your values. This is where, oh my gosh, the Magician came out again. I love this. This is where you're looking at where all the betrayals, the deceptions, the ulterior motives, the schemes, the isolation, the fibs, where you've been outcast, where others have taken advantage of you, right? Where those limiting beliefs, those inherited traumas have really held you back and taken from your future. And instead, you're innovating. You're embracing that shadow and you're utilizing your magician powers, your infinity of abundance to manifest plans, put ideas into practice, construct, build, master in how you communicate and how you connect with others, how you follow your initiatives and intuition, especially with Mercury, and how you walk towards your intuitive understanding of future, where you're being guided with unity, with control, with personal power, and with balance when it comes to your conscious and your subconscious, with knowing the contracts, the commitments that you sign up for and consent to, as well as stand in your individuality. So what really comes to mind most with this is, in every healthy relationship, what I love the most is it's got the same energy of 1221. So there's this point in a relationship of mutuality and then also with individuality. And coming into balancing all of that, right? How you stand in your individuality with or come together, say it's just a partnership, marriage, let's just put it there. Because remember, Juno's here this whole time in our 4th house, in Sagittarius, calling in your justice when it comes to home and family. There's something here. That's all I got to say. But there's this beautiful thing about healthy relationships. And it took me a long time to learn this because I come from, like I say, a family of dysfunction. There's 2 parts of that, right? There's a dominant, when it's unbalanced, you've got someone that's overly dominant, and you've also got somebody that's that leans too much, right? That takes too much energy or leans too much on somebody else's dominance rather than their individuality. So when you look at a healthy relationship of balance, you've got the me time, you've got we time, and then you also have how you spend and develop that relationship of mutuality and individuality with the world around you, with your family, your extended family. So you've got time out with friends, time out with loved ones, coworkers, partnerships, business partnerships, etc., even your children. Then you also have the time that you spend together in those same areas. And through all of it comes the good luck that comes from creation, symmetry, balance. This is where you're able to both come together in your individuality and create this beautiful, bright energy that brings strength in unity. This is the time to truly be happy in the here and now, and how you come together and how you create a loving environment that's colorful in everything that you are, and knowing that you're accepted, that you're safe, that you're stable, that you're loved, because you bless the world with color and with good luck, just as you are. That's the relationship that you're coming into, that you're developing, that you're claiming, that you're building, and the home life that's also liberating, that's got freedom tied into it, that's balanced with work and home, right? Not being house rich, money poor, or cash poor, but knowing that you've got the resources to choose, the freedom to break free from any type of entrapment like that. And also, too, to be open to the intuitive understanding with where the North Node leads you by embracing the mess, right? The messiness that comes from those beautiful surprises of trusting your intuition and not trying to plan it all, not trying to make it all perfect. This is where, with the hawks, Spirit is going to be sending you messages, especially with Mercury in retrograde. We're all going to feel this, right? This is where you're balancing that lens between the big scope of things, the big ideas, and the practical, the everyday living, cherishing the present, being open to the greater vision and seeing the signs, focusing on your priorities, eliminating those distractions, and walking straight towards your bright future and ascending, letting yourself ascend to new heights. This is also where you're standing in your personal power, right? Being indestructible, honoring your intuition, going where it leads you, knowing that love and gentleness are your real strength, not control, and knowing that when you never give up, you succeed. It's letting go of anything that's been limiting, anything that's been self-sabotaging, allowing others to sabotage or take your power as well, and embracing that inner knowing with the polar bear. This is knowing that challenges make you stronger, right? Having faith when you face adversity, makes you resilient. Taking the time to rest, dream, renew your strength is what makes you indomitable. Embracing your intuition is what allows you to carry forward into the unknown without fear. And if that all resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe if you like the way that I read. But before we go, I also want to take a look at our major arcana. So what we pulled for music therapy, I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. We've got 2 keys of E here and the key of D. So play around with music improv with those keys. Also, too, look at the colors. This is gorgeous. Solar energy, big time, with the yellow. And sacral energy, creative flow, turning pains to passion, wounds to wisdom with the orange. So play around with those colors, especially if you need that energy, and really embody that energy as we walk into Mercury in Sagittarius, into the retrogrades, back into Scorpio, and then walk forward from all the insights that we've gained back into Sagittarius again and into the new year, our year of Big 10. So I truly hope you guys have a beautiful November, a wonderful, heartfelt, deep, long-lasting bond creation legacy in December. And I am sending so much love and light to you. I will see you in the next reading.